Poppin', everybody. How we doing? Another live stream, another beautiful day, another full MLB slate. We have a doubleheader to start off the day, 3:10. We have full rest of the slate after, so 16 MLB games. Let me get a quick promo out right now. And boys, let's do it. Let's have a hell of a day. Let's have a great time. You guys know the drill by now. If you guys are new, thank you guys for joining. No Kyle today, unfortunately. Kyle is busy with some stuff. Miss him dearly. Hopefully he'll be back next week because he adds a fantastic element to the show. But another solo stream. The Wednesday show, I had some technical difficulties that unfortunately cut the stream short. But yesterday I streamed for about an hour and everything was perfect there. So we're hoping to run that back again. We're using props.cash today, as always, on Friday. And if you guys want to do the same player prop research I am currently doing, go to props.cash.com and use promo code BetSmart for 30% off your first month. And also betsmart.co for all of your sports betting tool needs. That is my website. That's the best way to support. One more quick promo. And we're going to get started. Let's get started. Very nice, very nice. So I have the home runs pulled up. It looks like some good weather around the U.S. today. I have the odds screen on my other laptop so we can look at some totals, target some higher scoring games. But right now I have us sorted for the lowest odds for home run. Unsurprisingly, we have Aaron Judge, who is facing Chris Flexen in the Cubs today at home. Plus 150, excuse me. Mike Trout plus 225. He's finally looking like the Mike Trout we all know and love, which is always just a good thing for baseball. You can tell Marte, a bunch of new series starts and teams head off. So who are the D-backs? They're playing the Padres, right? No, the Padres are now hosting Philly. D-backs are in LA, taking on the Angels. Schwarber 240, Stanton 250, Rooker 265. So we got a lot to look at. We're going to go and let's go to game one of this series of this White Sox Guardians. This game was postponed yesterday. I had some action on this game, of course, all voided out because of the rain. So let's see what we got now. Let's go to some strikeouts. We got Shane Smith and Logan Allen. Logan Allen, a left-handed pitcher. Let's get some stats going. So look at some strikeouts. Has he faced Chicago this year? He did, but very early on this year, 4K, so we're not going to feed into that. 4.5 K line right now, 5.5 at ESPN with the minus 240. Let's take a little scroll down here and look at this lineup against left-handed pitching. K rates are pretty high. Chase Meidroth doing pretty solid up there, but Slater striking out against lefties. Hawkman, not a good look on the left on left. Of course, Robert has been a strikeout demon this year. Tim Elko, Michael A. Taylor at the bottom of that lineup. So this 4.5 does make a little bit more sense. Only an average of 2.9 swinging Ks and 0.9 looking strikeouts. So Logan Allen is not going to light up the scoreboard here in the strikeouts, as we can see from his season. His season high is 6 Ks through 6 innings. So a very low, as you can see right here, percentile, 17.9% K rate, which is low. I'm already loving this under here, but the minus 104 over at FanDuel looks like the best price in market for the under for Logan Allen. And this is, I'm not really too surprised. I mean, I think this number is probably pretty efficiently priced. I definitely lean toward the under here, even with these high strikeout rates. Logan Allen is not a good strikeout pitcher. Let's see if there's any splits to notice here. They are in Chicago. I mean, I'm not a big away day, etc. kind of when I look at those numbers. I mean, it's really great to have these filters to like help you lock in. I actually would prefer like a 5-day rest. And sometimes home away does make a little bit of difference, but it's not something I'm really eyeing in on there. But right now, I'm liking Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks to start the day. And Shane Smith, on the other hand, he had a really good stretch here. Earned runs, though, he's finally come back to earth a little bit. These starts were like good, but like this is something that Jake and I and Kyle and I have talked about a few times on the show. If you're looking at this amazing data with props.cash, you see that despite the fact that he was not letting up a ton of ER, he's getting hit hard. 7 hard hit balls there, 5 there, 6 there for another 5 piece. The 2 piece against Miami, that's probably his best start of the season. Only let up 1 earned against Chicago, but 9 hard hit balls, 8 against Seattle. And this trend kind of continues. He had 2, again, really good starts, but against Houston, 14 hard hit balls. That's a lot, man. And then we see it kind of coming back to bite him here as he has those hard hit balls are turning into runs against Colorado, against LA, again, a good team. Arizona, a good offensive team. Looks like some variance got back to bite him there. Only 4 hard hit there, but only got 2. And 7 against St. Louis. So let's look at some quick home run looks for this one. This total is 8.5, 9. So definitely expecting a little bit of runs on the sports books. The White Sox are even money at home with the Guardians laying like -120, probably around the market average there. Best number is at -108. It's at Novig. Novig, if you guys are not familiar, is a peer-to-peer exchange prediction market, one of the best outs you could possibly have. So shout out to Novig. I know that they're working on getting implementation here to see their lines on props.cash, so that'll be massive. Only player props, Novig is fantastic for that. So definitely, if you're not familiar with Novig, I can do a whole show about how great Novig and like ProfitX and some of these exchanges are. Let's look at J-Ram, some projections from props.cash. His HRR is 2.5. Home run. He's finally back to the J-Ram we know and love. We could filter L5 just to see 3 straight games with dingers. That's the J-Ram we know and love, boys. That's the epitome of consistent, like, straight excellence. I love myself some J-Ram. Plus 410 at Rivers, plus 350 MGM. Penny's at 302, which is what props.cash for this home run market is using as their source of truth for their EV calcs. Even with FanDuel at 340, I know Rivers is not in a ton of states. I don't know exactly how many they are in, but I'm not even talking hit rate here. Obviously, that's something that people are going to look at and are going to be like excited about and maybe like make some decisions off of. But with that being said, this is just from a pricing perspective. A little J-Ram action against Shane Smith, who is, as we mentioned, is getting hit around now. His last 15, J-Ram has been bad. He had a bad, probably like a 30-day stretch if you look at it, but he's on back on the up and up. And against righties this year, he's got 13 home runs. Shane Smith has allowed, right here, 2 left-handed bats, which Jose will be batting lefty as the switch hitter he is. 5 home runs in these 138 at-bats, so definitely a higher home run allowed rate against left-handed hitters. Nothing against switch hitters, but adding that up, the rate's not like egregiously higher. Overall, only 7 home runs allowed, which is a good number. I actually want to dive a little bit deeper into that now that we're looking at it. So something that I love to look at as well is, let's see, home runs allowed, of course, only 0.6, 0.4 on the season. Never had a game where they allowed more than 2 home runs, though we know that the White Sox pen can get hit around a little bit. But I want to see if there are fly balls allowed, because for hitters, I love looking at if they're putting the ball in the air. Here, fly balls, there we go, perfect. So 3.9 a game. Only 1 of them are getting out per game, and this one he had 10 against Boston. Now, if a pitcher's allowing a lot of fly balls, obviously if you have some good hitting conditions, which we'll take a look at in a second, those balls can eventually carry, and that can be some variance for the hitters, actually. And a guy like Shane Smith, who's been allowing 4 flies a game, I mean, these could be, pop outs to the left. These could be, deep warning track balls. This could be even like home run robberies. At the end of the day, all it is a fly ball. It's a long out, but still something worth considering. But let's go back and look at some of the weather that we're looking at right now. In Chicago, really humid, 90 degrees, wind blowing from right to left, which isn't really a big deal for Jose. I mean, he's going to spray the ball no matter what. Against righties, actually, no, he's a straight pull hitter. Against righties, he's just straight up a pull guy when he's going. So it's a good thing to note this, that for these players looking at these splits, especially switch hitters, because if you looked at just this chart, you would think, oh, Jose sprays the ball. But with props.cash amazing filters, you can see that, when he's facing righties and he's on the left side here, he's driving the ball directly to the left side at a crazy rate. And lefties, it's the same thing, a little bit more dead center pop there, but truly just a a pull type hitter. Any BVP here, only one AB, 3 plate appearances, 1 hit. Never really diving in too deep into those kind of situations, but worth noting. But this is one from a prop perspective. It's gonna be tough. We could see right now who has the most home runs against righties. It's going to be, of course, Mr. J Ram, and his odds are going to reflect that. But from a pricing perspective as well, 410. That's a good look. And also, guys, comments are on. So if you guys have any thoughts, comments, questions, or games or players you want me to dive into specifically, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'll see them. I'll get to those games, and make sure you guys are looking at what you want to look at. Kevin Fry back in the 2-hole. Carlos Santana, another switch hitter there. This lineup, I don't know if it is confirmed yet. It might be. The game starts in a little under 2 hours, so it probably is. But with double headers, sometimes teams are a little bit delayed on releasing lineups. 2 ugly teams. We know how bad this Cleveland offense can be. They finally are picking it back up, breaking their losing streak with a series sweep of the Astros after losing 10 straight. So their offense is coming a little bit alive again. And this is a good, another good get-right game that the market is telling us that it's about. I wouldn't say a coin flip, but it's, even odds for the White Sox, -107 at Novig. So expecting a tight one with Chicago, of course, not being as bad as they are. But part of me wants to bet on the Guardians here. I mean, 4 straight wins. I'm going to pull up Michael A. Taylor, though I don't expect him to be going yard, though he did a couple games ago, but that's in Colorado. So we can always, a little bit of a caveat for a guy like Michael A. Taylor, who, this is his home runs for the season. How many PAs does he have this year? 189 this year. 680 at FanDuel. I know that they're showing a big expected value to Pinnacle, but I won't know if Penny really is the source of truth book for home run props. But I do want to see this White Sox lineup against lefties. I mean, they're doing a good job getting on base. Chase Mydroth has been a pretty good young player. Slater, he's always been a guy who does better against left-handed bats, left-handed arms. We can see only 53 PA, 3 home runs, so that's also worth noting. But big K numbers. Let's actually pull up Slater instead. Where are you, Mr. Austin Slater? But then we have a full slate starting at 7 o'clock. So exciting. Some good news series. I'm excited for Yankees and Cubs, which we'll get to right after this. But Logan Allen, 6 home runs allowed against right-handed bats because the BHB, both-handed batter, aka switch hitter, that's going to assume, safe assumption that it's going to be a right-handed pitcher or right-handed hitter. The lefties are seeing him well. 4 home runs in 79 PA against left-handed. Against like a little bit of a reverse split there. What stats we're looking for here? Against lefties, Austin Slater is a right-handed bat. He's swinging it here, but Talkman, right? He's got 4 home runs and 169 PA against lefties. Pretty low K rate. I'm gonna look at Mike Talkman quickly. I think this could be a sneaky little left on left. I know a lot of people generally like to, go to the traditional splits, left first right, right first left, and generally speaking, that makes sense. But Talkman is probably the best. He's the only lefty in the lineup, which this is something that I think is interesting. I'm gonna digress a little bit. So of course I just said, like, in baseball, generally speaking, righties against lefties are more difficult than same side matchups. I understand wanting to stack righties against the lefty if they do have these egregious splits, but I mean, looking at what Logan Allen has allowed against lefties in terms of at least power, I don't know that Logan Allen is like this, keep lefties away from us at all costs kind of pitcher. So I don't know. This is interesting to me. I don't know if I love this all right-handed lineup. Again, we're talking about the White Sox. I don't know how many options they truly have for like lefties and whatnot down the line, but that's intriguing to me. But I might want to single out the only lefty if we can get a good price. The FanDuel 6.3 to 1 with the best odds for in the market. Normally the book I like to D-Vig with. Nothing even from Penny on this one. I think Talkman's sneaky. He has not gone yard in a while. This is 4 homers on the season. it's tough, man. We're asking for a lot from shitty teams. I think we should just move on to the next one. But if we're talking guns ahead, I do like the Guardians on the money line. They just took some action. They opened. I mean, this game is supposed to be played last night. Looks like there was some love for the White Sox in the market, but I think a Talkman could be a sneaky home run for this side, and I like Logan Allen to go under his strikeouts, honestly. So that are two things I like here. Nothing I'm locking in officially, though. I will be more clear if there's something that I'm like, yo, we're definitely playing. Though of all these plays, no, I'm tracking the strikeout prop. Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks minus 104. We'll put that on the record right there. So Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks minus 104 in Chicago. That's something that I'm going to get up on my other screen and lock in. So whenever I do it on this computer, I have like issues with locations and whatnot. But Logan Allen, let's start off the day with a Logan Allen K prop and potentially a Talkman. But it's been too long talking about some bad teams. We got Rodon flexing. I mean, right now the Cubbies are plus 150. I mean, like generally speaking, I don't think the Cubs should be minus plus 150 to the Yankees. But when you have Chris Flexen going, a guy who can get shelled, the Yankees are obviously hot as can be. I want to look at the Nerfy here. Flexen has not pitched yet. Rodon 7-2 to the Nerfy at home, 14-5 overall. Now Rodon, it depends on the price here of the Nerfy. As you can see, the Nerfy is minus 130. Nerfy's even money. I definitely lean toward the Nerfy from a pricing perspective, but it is a little bit. I don't think concerning is the right word, but something to always consider with Nerfies and Nerfies are pitcher home run rates, because all it takes is one swing in the first inning. And also pitcher walk rates. If they're a pitcher who allows a lot of walks and you get a guy on first, then of course that can open the floodgates to a early run. Let's go back to some hit rates. We'll go to home runs. We already looked at Aaron Judge, but I want to pull up Mr. PCA. We have a matchup here, left on left, which PCA, yeah, those numbers really do go off a cliff against lefties. Again, this is the traditional we were just talking about with some of the splits there. But he does have 6 long balls of his 25, which, you know, he sometimes gets sat against left-handed pitching, right? I mean, PCA at this point is a little bit indispensable for the Cubbies, but he does sometimes get benched against lefties. I don't think that will happen today. I don't know if I love PCA at 425 in this matchup, 466 at Penny, FD at 420. This ESPN is all right. Lefties only 4 home runs off Rodon in a smaller sample, but Rodon does allow a lot of solo shots, a good amount of home runs allowed. But the left on left here for PCA isn't something I love, but I'd rather take a look at the guy who's been selling slips like it's his job lately, Kyle Tucker. Is he finally? No, Kyle Tucker, even from the total bases, I know this has been he hit his TB. Let's go last 10 just to like focus in on. Only twice in his last 10 games has he gone over his total bases. He finally did that yesterday with a double against Chris Paddock. But as you can see, it's been a rough go for Kyle Tucker bettors. But that's the thing, man. It's Kyle Tucker. He is a reverse splits guy. He does better against left-handed bats. A lot of guys hopped into the stream now, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. All you missed so far for everybody new on stream is Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks. And if you're feeling frisky, a Talkman home run in game 1. But Kyle Tucker's been king salesman, but plus 120 at MGM, Penny at 116. So we're not looking at a ton of like expected value, which is always the more like the goal here. Against his pitch mix, he's 10 home runs off the fastball. Tucker's not a whiff guy. He's a walk guy. Rodon does issue a decent amount of walks. His barrel rates have been low. Kyle Tucker, a little bit of a slump, but I mean, again, we're talking about Kyle Tucker. Plus 120 for a guy who, when he's on point, is sitting, you know, even money minus 120. But let's look at HRR, because this is what I was hoping to see, minus 125. Kyle Tucker minus 125 for over 1.5 hits, run, RBIs. Game of the total of 9.5. Feed me, Kyle Tucker. We'll make this the second play of the day. We have Logan Allen, and let me write this down so we got them confirmed so I can go over them at the end of the show. First one, Logan Allen, under 4.5 Ks, minus 104. FanDuel, now Kyle Tucker, 2+ HRR, minus 125 DK. I think this is a great look. Look at this lineup that we have. So we have Ian Happ is going to be batting righty. We have Kyle Tucker, who, even if he gets on with a walk, I mean, we're looking for some runs as well. Runs are just as good. Then you got Seiya and Dansby, so two right-handed bats against him. And then against lefties, Seiya is an animal. I want to look at his HRR is only minus 118. That could be a Cubs stack day. I mean, Rodon, I know, just got replacing his teammate Max Fried in the All-Star game, so Rodon might be a little bit of a high there. The Cubbies are, let's look at their last 15 overall. Offense is coming back to life, man. I mean, I'm not shocked to see it. I know they had a little bit of a lull, but like this Cubs team, yeah, the Brewers are up their alley in that NL Central, but the Cubbies are, I think the Cubbies are really good, man. Like really good. I know they have a little bit of a pitching problem. Penn's still not great, but this team can rake, and I think that's going to serve them well in October. But we're talking about today. I like Kyle Tucker. Let's see against left-handed pitching. His HRR, this didn't up because he did face a lefty, so it doesn't necessarily like help for the filtering here. But we'll go back really quick here. So Kyle Tucker against lefties this year, 268 batting average, but 267 BABIP. That's batting average on balls in play. So that does signify a little bit of unluck. 223 ISO, the man rakes. We all know this. Does not strike out, even though Rodon's a big K guy. I love this play. I do. That's the second one we're going with. So let's go try to find a couple more. But so far we're 2 for 2 on games and plays. If it wasn't flexing on the bump, like plus 165 at Circa. I know it's not a book that is widely available in the U.S., but if you are in Nevada or Arizona, I think they're in maybe 1 or 2 more states. I think they're in Illinois. Yeah, I like that. But let's look at Seiya. Minus 110 at DK. We know he does well against left-handed pitching. Again, we'll do a quick another filter again. 289 batting average, a little higher strikeout rate against Rodon's pitch mix. Big time fastball, big on the breaking ball. That's a decent whiff rate. Rodon deuces a lot of whiffs. Any necessary BVP? No, nothing worth noting there. I'm sticking with Tucker. Ian Happ even at what is he at? Even money? No, minus 105. Oh, there is even money at DK for Happ HRR. I think that's the market I'm honestly going to hone in on with the Cubs here. And like we did, we got Kyle Tucker. But let's keep looking at some Yankees. Big G, minus 145. Like Flexen. Is this his first start? Let's go back to Flexen. Let's pull up Mr. Chris Flexen and see. No, he's been pitching a little bit here. July 5th. July 3rd. So he was in that like relief role. As you can see, he's been pitching a couple of games back to back. Recording no strikeouts with some of those. I mean, Flexen is not a kind of guy who you're expecting for a bunch of strikeouts. This is left 2025 all year. The most he's had all year in a game is 4. And no game stats here, but he pitched 3 against the Brewers, had 3 Ks. Yankees can strike out a lot, but I think Flexen can be absolute food. We'll go to 2024 and just get a bigger picture. He did have a couple of good K games, but let's look at some ER, like a bunch of big blow-up games and against the Yankees in the Bronx with gorgeous weather. I shouldn't say gorgeous, but definitely hitting conditions. Let's take a look at that. I'll pull up Nico quickly. 77, so not crazy hot. Some decent wind that's not really blowing in. Okay, we're gonna move on here, but we're gonna talk. We already locked in Kyle Tucker, but that's 2 games, 2 plays, so that's very nice to see. But let's go Miami, Baltimore. Now let's start with K's. Edward Cabrera, Dean Kremer. I've said it on the show a little bit. I'm a huge Edward Cabrera guy. The guy is nasty. His stuff is nasty. If you are paying attention, I know he's got these 5 strikeouts only. It's because like this one. The walks are getting to him. His pitch count gets up there. Miami's been very frugal with their young guys, Yuri Perez as well as Edward Cabrera. Miami, of course, have been the surprise fun team. They've had a hell of an end of June and July. But they do give their starters, especially these kids, really not a ton of leash. Let's see, like, where is his total pitches? Only 84.7, though we see a little bit of an uptick in the last couple of starts where he has pitched really well. because the kid is an animal. And when you see those zeros, let's go to walks here. Like, listen, walks are obviously problematic because you're allowing base runners free passes, but it also drives up your pitch count, which is never a good thing. But when this kid is not walking people, only 1 against Minnesota, only 0 against the Brew Crew, and 7 innings in back-to-back games. Against this lineup that, I mean, they did put up a good offensive show against the Mets. We know the Orioles, despite how like bad they are, they're like low-key creeping up the standings, not in terms of making some serious noise in the AL East, but in terms of just not being like Marlins and Rockies level bad. I shouldn't even say Marlins because they're good, but you know what I mean. Like they're kind of pulling us out of the dumpster being horrendous. Only 8 games below 500. I mean, for the Orioles, that's obviously not what we were expecting this year. But like in terms of being like this horrible, horrible team, they're coming around a little bit. I mean, their run differential is putrid, but we know they can rake. And Dean Kremer, I want to look at his splits here as well. He's going to live around the zone. He's not going to strike out a ton of people. The line is 4.5, which makes sense. Miami's been pretty decent. Let's see. Left-handed pitching against this is a righty, so excuse me. I think Martinez went under. Brady Singer went under. Woodruff, I mean, 4.5 line was for his first start there. Woodruff is an animal, so I'm not really shocked to see that. But they've done a good job of not getting destroyed by righties. I mean, Festa had a good game against them from the K perspective, that we got hit pretty decently. And Festa's a good young pitcher. He's got a lot of overall talent, but Kremer against right-handed pitching against Kremer. I mean, I love myself some Augustin Ramirez. I want to see. I'm going to pull up Augustin. So let's look at some home runs. This kid, if you guys are not familiar yet, you guys are just sleeping. Rookie, absolutely freaking rakes. See, this year, batting 245, 234 ISO, which means he hits tanks. 14 dingers to Stowers 16, but look at the difference in PA. Like Augustine was pulled up. That's not on the starting roster. I know Stowers went down a little bit as well, but I love this kid. Let's see if we can find some good pricing for Augustine Ramirez, because 5-1 on FanDuel, Penny 422. So EV to Penny at FanDuel, ESPN, and MGM. He's 0.7 fly balls a game, puts the ball in the air. Assuming there's no BVP, makes sense. Right-handed bat, and he loves to pull the baseball. In Camden Yards, we have that again, this little deep fence out here. But if you can sneak one into here, which he clearly does a good job of doing. Humid day in Baltimore. I kind of really like this for a Augustine Ramirez last. Let's look at HRR. 137, which makes sense. The total in this one is 9. So the book's expecting generally good offense. Again, the O's offense is better than heating up a little bit. Dean Kremer is hittable and vice versa. If Cabrera's walking people, then that one could get away from him. But I like myself some Augustine. I think I'm going to stick to the dinger for Augustine. So we're going to do another sprinkle. So for home runs, for a lot of new people in stream, shout out to you guys for hopping in, and shout out to props.cash for all this research, filters, projections, odds. Promo code BetSmart for 30% off your first month. But we're going to go with Augustine Ramirez home run, writing it down, plus 500 MGM. And then the other home run we looked at earlier was Mike Tauchman 6-1. So plays that we are looking right now: Tauchman 6-1 home run, Augustine Ramirez 5-1 home run, Kyle Tucker 2 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 125 DK, and Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks, minus 104. So then we're going to move on from this one. I want to look at, though, Kremer one more time real quick, because he has had some really good games. And shout out to a friend of the program, an amazing guy, Adam Rosenberg. He's been tracking Dean Kremer, and looking at his earned runs, he's found an angle. I don't know if it's noise or signal, but long story short, whenever there's like a political like turmoil, Dean Kremer comes in and throws beauties. But then whenever things are like calm and collected, he's been getting shelled. And this is something that Adam has pointed out. Shout out to Adam. But off a blow up game, and it's been kind of his MO this year. Again, not really buying too much into hit rate right now, but like blow up game, good start, blow up game, good start, good start. The geopolitical climate was not great during this time, and Tremor was dealing, and then things kind of calmed down, and Atlanta got to him. So, listen, I'm intrigued. I want to see if they're like, I'm curious. Let me do a quick research on my other computer. I would pull up the screen normally, but I don't want any stream nonsense because I pulled up Fangraphs last time. That's when my computer blew up. So don't want to do that. But I'm going to pull up Fangraphs on my other computer. I want to check his splits against either side of the plate because I know Kremer, I think last year, lefties took him to lunch. Ramirez is a righty, but let's see. We have some numbers here. Where are they? Let's go back to a hitter. I think that's the best way to find some of these numbers here. Not hits allowed. We want total bases. We'll look at. But Kremer, 9 home runs against lefties and more PA. So his home run rate is essentially his home run through 9 is higher against lefties. But again, like what lefties can we look at for the Jesus Sanchez against righties? He hits bombs. Kyle Stowers, of course, we all know the all-star. He can hit the tanks, but I'm circling in. I know a lot of people are probably going to love Stowers today with the left on right with Kremer splits that I just confirmed. Worse against lefties, but I'm actually team Stowers here. I'm team Ramirez still. Let me backtrack here. And props.cash, by the way, obviously I'm on my computer. If it's not obvious, well, boys on the computer. Mobile app is so easy to use as well, and you can get the promo code still works. So 30% off your first month. Promo code BetSmart of props.cash. A really amazing interface on the mobile app as well. But okay, Dean Kremer, here we go. That's what we're looking for. Against righties, 5 dingers, 9 against lefties for the 14 that he's allowed this year. So I'm sticking to it. Augustine Ramirez, 5-1. Let's lock it in and keep moving. Boys, we have a Scooble day. If you guys did not know, we have Tariq Scooble. The line is 8.5, bro, and there's just like nothing to say because you got Tariq Scooble on the freaking bump, man. That's just, what more can you ask for? I'm not gonna bet the 8.5. I'm certainly not fading Tariq. This total, I saw it 6.5 before. It's at 7. Probably not going to go through a ton of offense. Actually, we're going to single out Castillo just because, boys, it's Tariq Scooble. Sometimes, like, listen, this is going to be square. I mean, I don't think that the Tigers are really minus 245. Should be minus 245 against Seattle. Like, this was a playoff game. Even with Scoops on the bump, I'd probably take Seattle. But we're witnessing greatness. I saw a stat today. It was like pitchers in their last, like, 55 starts, or not their last 55 starts, but like pitchers in like the modern era since like 1965 or something like that, with in a 55 or 54 game start with 400 or more strikeouts, an ERA lower than like a 2.5, and like a hits allowed under like 200 or something like that. It was DeGrom, Pedro Martinez, I think one other guy, and of course it was Scoobs. So enough said, man. If you want to back Scoobs at 8.5 at plus money, do it at Penny if you have it, or MGM at plus 115. I'm not going to be betting on a number that high, nor will I be fading Scoobs because just turn on the TV tonight if you're going to say, and watch this man pitch. But Luis Castillo, I love to fade Luis Castillo, especially in the last like 2 or 3 years. He's a lot worse now than he was. And shout out to my boy Blake for showing me the stat. It was, okay, this is the exact stat. 54 start stretch with an ERA lower of 2.15. So not 2.5, 2.15, at least 400 Ks and no more than 250 hits allowed. That was since the expansion era in 1969. It was Scoobs, DeGrom, Pedro, and of course the great Clayton Kershaw. So shout out to my boy Blake for sending me that graphic. Guys, comment section is open, so please ask some comments there. He hit me up on the side because he sent me the actual graphic. But listen, I'm not I'm not fading Tarek Skubal by any means. Shout out to like such a goat. But here though, on the other side, not looking at Cal because again, yes, Skubal can let a little home run here and there, and if anyone's going to do it, it's probably going to be this man, or maybe even like a Randy. I think Randy's tagged him before. No, he hasn't. Um, didn't he pitch in Seattle? Am I making that up? Let's go back to head here. Um, early in the season, so wouldn't really put a ton of signal anyway. But an 8-piece in Seattle. Again, enough said. Not belaboring the point of what I was talking about there because we're not fading Mr. School. I mean, you guys are free to do whatever you guys want with your own cash. That's the best part about this whole thing. But I am not fading Terry Skubal under any circumstance. A little wind blowing in Detroit, but I don't think that's really like signal. Well, 2 miles an hour in. I don't think that's really gonna be altering balls. But Luis Castillo, righties are getting to him as well. But as you can see right here, 156 PA, 6 home runs against lefties, and this is nothing new. If you've been following, baseball, if you're new to baseball, hopefully I can teach you something here. But Luis Castillo has had pretty significant splits, especially with the long ball. He's a fastball pitcher, and we can confirm that right here on props.cash, which is why it's one of the best player prop research tools because it's going to tell you right here, 67.2% of the time he's throwing that heater. This, again, nothing new. Obviously, there's so many players in baseball. You can only be like locked in on so many guys. I happen to have been locked in on Castillo because he's been a guy I've loved to fade. But lefties and fastballs, if you have a lefty that hits fastballs, of course, the odds are going to be, it's going to be baked into the odds a little bit, probably lowering some value. But in terms of what I'm looking for against Castillo, that's what we're talking about. So let's look at the lefties in this Tigers lineup. This is definitely not confirmed with the game being, at 7-10. But I think it's going to be safe to say we're going to be seeing a dose of lefties like most teams put out against Castillo anyway. But Cole Keith, he's somebody who doesn't get a ton of burn. Definitely some great burn, but he can be platooned. He'll be in that lineup, I would assume, Wenzel Perez. Riley, All-Star Green. Those are filtered to righties. I mean, he's like 10 of his home runs off the fastball. If anything else, Castillo is throwing that breaking pitch. 450 at MGM, like FanDuel at 350, Penny at 416. We're gonna write that down right now. Riley Green home run, 450. MGM. That's another play. We're 3 for 3 on games and plays. I came into this with only thing I played prior, I guess just for transparency's sake. I played the under in Mets Kansas City. I played the under in Braves Cardinals. That was 9.5 for the Mets Royals minus 120. When we get there, I'll see if that's still alive, still around. And then the 8.5 under in Atlanta St. Louis, that's minus 110. In the Rangers first 5 money lines, so I only had game lines. Of course, we're using props.cash, so naturally looking at prop bets, but that's a third home run. Augustine Ramirez, 5-1 MGM. Mike Talkman, 6-1 MGM. Riley Green, 4.5-1 MGM. This one, I think, is going to be a Twitter, all over Twitter. Everyone's going to be looking at the same things I'm looking at. And still, though, from the odds, I do expect them to come down. We do see some expected value to FanDuel. And even to Penny at 416 to 4.5 to 1. Like, there is some EV there. So I don't care if it's the popular play of the day. Sometimes the odds are there, the matchup is there, the data is there. Riley Green's going Yahtzee tonight. I see it. McKinstry could definitely be a sneaky pick. What are his odds? 7.5 to 1 for McKinstry. Parker Meadows. I'll pull up Zach's to see how he's doing against the fastball. And against the heater, only 2 of his home runs against the heater. Low whiff rates, which is nice. He's on top of those balls. But I'm sticking with Riley. I know it's chalk, but we got the All-Star break coming up. We have the All-Star Riley Green. We have the great combination of price and matchup. So we're going to move on here. Fade Tarek Skubal at your own will. I'm fading Luis Castillo with a lefty bat and the best lefty bat and probably the best overall bat on the Detroit Tigers. Giving you all of that Riley Green. Tampa, Boston. I love Tampa this year. They're letting me down. They were so hot, but in baseball especially, all sports of course, but what goes up must come down, and we're finally seeing it. I shouldn't say finally, but we're seeing a little bit of a lull for the Rays. It's natural. Who's pitching? Rasmussen, Hunter Dobbins, Drew Rasmussen. His K line's 2. Are we sure about that? Looks like we are sure about that. Prospect Cash projecting 4. The market plus 155 for the over at Hard Rock. Is there? I want to see what's his pitch count looking like. Yep, there. That's what I'm looking for. He's only pitching 74.2 pitches. Looking like he's doing more of like an opener kind of thing, though. He's been, a starter. I don't know if I'm missing some news. I feel like I clearly am, so I'm not going to do a quick Google or anything. But actually, as a matter of fact, I am going to do a quick Google. What's Rasmussen's deal? I don't know if there is like a deal going on. I just think that, let's see, it's not like he only had 2 Ks. Was he getting shelled? Got shelled against the Athletics, so that makes more sense. Minnesota, I don't know if he left with like an injury. If somebody can let me know. But part of me is thinking ladder, 5 Ks. It all comes down to the pitch count. I don't know what it is. We know Boston. We'll pull it up. Like, they can strike out. They can strike out. Jaron Duran, that 21.6 is like a low number, but like it's really not that low. I mean, Roman Anthony, small PA, Abraham Toro. Abraham Toro and the Red Sox lineup. How is his team winning? But we got some really good numbers here. Story, Marcelo Meyer, Navarez, Willer, Rafaela at 19.2. That's good for him. He's been heating up a little bit. And Romy Gonzalez as well. But overall, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm missing. I see the pitch counts just declining. If they're really using him in this like pseudo starter role, I guess it makes sense. Rasmussen's, 8 Ks against Texas only a month ago, bro. I don't know what's going on, honestly. But if I'm going to play Rasmussen, 4.5 at 950, like we're asking for just 5 Ks. I'm writing that down. Again, if we're talking about these home runs and a plus 950 for a home run for 5+ Ks, obviously do not be like splurging your bankroll on that. But I definitely am interested. I'm not gonna lie. The baseline at Hard Rock, do you have a Hard Rock plus 155? But I'm going for Mega Plus chicken, 4.5 for Rasmussen. And if he gets pulled after 3 innings, Cats have got 9 outs, so you can hopefully get 5 of those via the K. I'm going for it there. This is a full send. Let's see. We got Caminero, of course. FanDuel, best price in market. Never love to see it. Hunter Dobbins going. Dobbins primarily a fastball and a breaking ball pitcher. Doesn't throw a ton of the traditional off speed here. Caminero is so much fun, man. Kid's 22. The Derby, by the way. I can't wait. I feel like I'm 12 years old again with this Derby field. O'Neill Cruz, Caminero, Jimmy Barrels himself, Brent Rooker, Jazz, Chisholm, Byron Buxton. I think it's going to be a sick Derby. We got a lot of games to go by, and time has been taken. So we do have a bunch of plays. I'll go over them when we get our next one in. But I'm going to keep rocking here from this game. We're gonna move on. Total's 9. I'm rooting for the Rays. I don't have any action on the game line there, but let's go Rays. And let's keep going. Colorado, Cincinnati, Chase Burns, German Marquez. We are in Cincinnati, Great American Small Park, so ball should still be flying. The Rook coming off his best start against Philly, which you'll love to see for the Rook. What's the strikeout line? Where are we at? Bro, 6.5. I know he did to Philly. Excuse me. And he did to the Yankees in his debut. So I guess it does make sense that it is already this high, considering the Rockies, we're going to just do this, and we're going to say disgusting. We're going to do this. And we're going to say even more disgusting with those strikeout numbers. But something about this, I'm not a guy who thinks there are traps set by the board. That's not it. That's not what I'm saying. I don't think this is a trap line, but they're begging me to bet the under, I feel like. And I'm just going to stay away from Mr. Burns. We had a great matchup against Boston. Nada. Yankees at this time were struggling. But the line was probably 4.5 if I had to guess. I mean, we could probably find the historical for that one. But, you see dream matchup against Boston. Philly, after a couple of bad starts, you're like, oh, he'll be good, but he'll have a tough one. He dealt, absolutely dealt, only one earned. Boston got to him big time in Fenway, but that was on the road. Now he's at home. Let's look at some home runs real quick here, maybe pivot off of that. But Chase Burns, man, I know he's got a lot of extra stuff. My good friend Johnny V, he's a big college baseball guy. Shout out to Johnny V. Loves this kid, and we've seen flashes already. Fourth MLB start, so always tough. And something I love to do as well, and I think everybody should take a page out of whenever you have so much uncertainty, like rookie pitcher or rookie hitter or pitcher coming off an injury, like just sometimes with uncertainty, just not even in baseball, in all sports, look for plus money spots, because if there's going to be more increased variance there, you don't want to lay a price. You want to get paid out plus money odds. But in this situation, with his line being, already 6.5, unless you're laddering that to 8.5 or 9.5, which obviously is a tall task, but against the Rockies, it's very possible. I would stay away from Burns, to be honest with you guys. But, of course, do what you got to do. Small park, good hitting conditions. Good hitting conditions here. Line, Colorado's plus 200. I mean, listen, I kind of want to bet the Rockies. I know Marquez stinks. CES. Christian Encarnacion Strand. This guy has been hurt. He's been a little bit disappointing. Marquez is letting up the home runs to the left-handed bats. As you can see, CES, he's a righty, right? Yeah, he's a righty. Maybe a Will Benson bomb. I mean, his odds are probably gross. Yeah, they're 270. TJ Friedel, 450. Let's filter against righties. Of course, you got Ellie. See if there's any BVP to look at, but nothing noteworthy. I mean, Friedel does have the 2 home runs and 2 ABs. I mean, a lot of people are going to blind bet that, which is not the best way to go about it. But at this point, Friedel, 520 FanDuel, best price in market. Penny at 496, a little bit of BV to FanDuel, depending on what you want to do as your source of truth. I'm not going to lock it in because you already have 3 home runs and an alt K line, but for people who are just getting to stream, thank you guys for showing up. And if you want all this amazing data, promo code BetSmart for 30% off your first month of props.cash, which will lead you into NFL season. So don't forget that. And we also do have the W. Don't forget about the W. A lot of ways to go there. But plays Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks, minus 104 FanDuel. Kyle Tucker, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs, minus 125 DraftKings. Augustine Ramirez, home run, plus 500 MGM. Mike Talkman, home run, plus 600 MGM. Riley Green, home run, plus 450 MGM. And Drew Rasmussen, over 4.5 Ks, plus 950. I don't care if he only pitches 2 innings. He still has a chance for 5 Ks at 9.5 to 1 if he does pitch a while. That's a good one. You can look at some Rockies. Reno Moniak's been hitting pretty decently lately. Burns has allowed 2 dingers in his young career. So if you're going to go for somebody, I would probably target somebody like, Goodman's going to have probably the worst odds for the Rockies. If he's even in the lineup, I don't even see Goodman on the left-hand side. Oh, plus 280, naturally. McMahon, 400. He's a whiffs out of his mind, though, so I don't know if I would ever love that. Bretton Doyle, what a disappointment, man. I hope he gets his stuff together in the second half because he is a fun-ass player. I'm going to stay away from the Rook. Moniak, though, if I had to, I would pull the trigger on Moniak for the Rocks, but I'm going to stay away from this one, though. I don't know. Colorado 2-1 on the money line. Maybe first 5. I could get convinced that the Rockies can beat the Reds in this one. Let's keep going. I'm going to skip game 2 of Cleveland, Chicago, but Washington, Milwaukee. Quinn Priester, Mr. Parker. Listen, I think I put in a bid for Priester in fantasy. Let's see if I got him. I need to win this week, of course, not to digress for too long, but just out of curiosity to see if I did get myself a Priester. I did. So I'm confident enough to get him in my fantasy lineup, meaning I guess I'm relatively confident enough to have him as like a worthwhile look per se. I did pick up Stowers also, so hopefully he goes deep. And Josh Smith, just because I'm dealing with injuries. You guys know how it goes, fantasy baseball around the All-Star break. Home runs. Let's pull up Churio on my fantasy team. Animal. Parker, been traditionally righties are hitting the home runs against him. No surprise there. Who's hitting off lefties? Churio's got 5 of them. The Brewers are not this home run team. In Milwaukee, wind blowing in, only 70. I don't think that's enough to call it like a wind game. Tough one for dingers. Let's see HRR for Churio. Is it 2.5? It's minus 150 though. Don't love that. I'm not a big total bases better. Honestly, unless I'm betting unders, just not a ton of expected value in the TV market. So hence why I'm not really looking at it too much. But there's one guy I'm always going to look at, especially at this price. You guys ever heard of Jimmy Barrels, the eventual home run derby champion on Monday? The absolute king, James Wood. Play, James Wood. 2+ HRR, even money, DK. Writing that down because that's a lock. I'm locking that in. Not even the hit rate chart doesn't matter to me at all. I think Washington, this total is 8.5. I don't think Washington gets blown out by any means. James Wood is as good as it gets. Like, he really is a stud. I don't think people are sleeping on him anymore. If you are, wake the hell up, man. Priestner's a lefty or a righty. Sometimes the interface looks a little screwy. Let's see Priester real quick. Quinn Priester. He's a right-handed pitcher, correct? He's a first-round pick. Did not know that. 2018 first-round pick, 18th overall. Yep, he's a righty. So this lefty, I don't know what's happening here. Maybe a quick little refresh will get us back on track. Nah, I think it's the interfaces when you mess around a little bit. It does look a little wonky. We'll go back to this one. We'll look at Jimmy Barrels here. Still showing lefty, which is fine because I'm agnostic. Just looking at these numbers, man. I know the Nationals are frustrating at times, but they're giving me even money on this all-star. I'm just curious his season-long hit rate. 55%. Even money, average is 2.4. Feed me, Jimmy Barrels. That's another free one. I shouldn't say free, of course. There's no such thing as free and locks, etc. But that's the odds you're giving me. I'm taking Jimmy Barrels. Let's keep rocking though. Texas Houston. I can't click. I bet the Rangers first 5 money line. I got that at plus 115. I don't know if that's still available. I'll do a quick check for the boys, of course. Looking at MLB, where's first 5? Might take me a sec. Sorry. I'll double check that in a sec, but a lot of good pricing on some of these Texas hitters. Lance McCullers is going, and Jack Leiter. Houston coming off of getting swept by the Guardians after just an insanely hot stretch. You know, they I guess they unloaded their clip in LA. Leiter, man, I think the kid will be good overall. Good start against San Diego in L, only 3.2 because the walks, man. These young pitchers, look at these walk numbers for Leiter. Can be walking 5 in a game, man. Can be averaging these walks. Like over 1.5 walks is minus 55. And Houston, if I'm not mistaken, it's a pretty patient club. 9.5 solid for Jake Myers, 12% for Parise is great. Cooper Hummel, very small sample there. Middle of the lineup does get a little swing happy, as you can see, against right-handed pitching, but I mean, minus 155 on Hard Rock. If you have Hard Rock, that's definitely worth looking at. But let's go back to some hitters. This total is 8.5. So pretty traditional there. Back to the Texas Houston. Seager. I love me some Corey Seager, bro. He's raking lately. Let's go less 20 just to see, bro. He is cooking. He is absolutely cooking. I love when Corey Seager is healthy, the MLB is just better. And finally, he looks like he's healthy. Let's see. There's got to be some BVP. Maybe not. McCullers has been out for a while with a bunch of different injuries, a bunch of different time missed. I don't know who is going to be honestly the person to help me get my Rangers first 5 over. Seager. Let's go to the odds. Of course, 430 at Penny. FanDuel 330. I mean, they're not offering a no. So they can always kind of juice their lines a little bit. Some food for thought. Jake and I talked about it, I think, last week. But in a one-way market, and this is actually something we wrote about in the BetSmart newsletter this week. So if you go to BetSmart, you can sign up for our newsletter. I talked about actually player prop pricing on today's newsletter that's live. So to give you a quick snippet, FanDuel has definitely become a lot more efficient with their prop pricing, and you pair that with the fact that they don't offer no's on their unders, and their hold percentage just goes way up, which is not a good thing for the bettor. So something to consider is if FanDuel's going to be hanging the best prices, and they're already sharper in the first place, and they're not offering a no, that's something to consider. And by consider, I mean to kind of say, like, maybe you shouldn't take that bet because it's a bad bet. And yes, if a bet can win, it does not mean it was a good bet if a bet wins. That's just something that needs to be on the record. Good bets lose and bad bets win. Example, last night I had D-backs first 5 money line, minus 125, close minus 140. I did my job. D-backs, bottom 5, blow it, they lose. I have a losing bet. A lot of people looking, they're like, yo, that bet sucked, you lost. Bro, I got 15 cents of closing line value. That is not a bad bet. That is what every bettor should aspire to do on every single bet they place. So not all the times are things going to go in your direction because we're playing a game where once you put that bet slip in, it's entirely up to what happens on the field. And if you think it's going to be the problem between, okay, you have professional athletes who are going to be struggling, or if you just made a bad bet, of course, there are times where athletes play poorly, but all you can do as a sports bettor is try to beat the closing number. And when you do that and you lose, that is a good bet that loses. And that's the name of the game. And if you bet a crappy number and it wins, and I know you're happy to have the money in your account, closing line value does not pay the bills. But with that being said, there are such things as good bets and bad bets. So some food for thought for the boys. Let's check out Adolis. Hit one last night. That was 105 off the bat. The guy smoked it. 502 at Penny. A lot of good pricing, which generally speaking, let's look at Wyatt. I love me some Langford, though. It's been a little bit of a disappointment for him this year, but I think overall he'll still be fine. Last 15, yep, Corey, bro. Those numbers. Let's call it a Corey home run. We're going back to Corey. We're not going to overthink this. FanDuel's hanging a crappy price. They're scared. Penny at the 430. Penny's not as widely available, so we'll do another MGM. Corey Seager plus 425 MGM. That's another one, boys. Got a lot of new viewers in. Shout out to you guys. I'm going to go through all my plays after I find the next one. But at this point, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays locked in. So been a fun stream so far. Mets, Royals. Let's keep it moving. Mets were in a little bit of a dogfight with the O's. They're tired, I would assume, coming off a doubleheader where they did get smoked. I bet the under here at 9.5 minus 120. At circa, it's 110. It's at 118 at MGM. So there is still available if you guys want to get in. But if you guys are looking just for props, that's what we're here for. Michael Waka, Kodai Senga, who's back from the IL. Always nice to see stud come back. I love myself some Senga, man. Like, I know it hasn't been this like ideal year for him, especially with some injuries. But I mean, let's look at those numbers, bro. Senga's a dog. Don't forget it. Didn't want to click H2H. Senga is awesome. Waka can get hit around, as we know. Yeah, 3 straight blow-up kind of starts there. Still went 5. Still went 6. Like, these aren't crazy blow-up. Blow-up's probably not the right word there, but like just not starts that make you feel confident. But I would be under here because the Mets, again, coming off that tough series against Baltimore where they got swept to the DH yesterday. Senga is back, and the Royals, we know, can struggle to hit. I'm assuming the conditions, though, are probably good for hitting. Oh, beautiful for hitting. That makes sense. But I don't know, man. I think the Mets might have exhausted some of their gas tank yesterday. We know the Royals do struggle. Senga is great. Bobby Baseball. Couple dingers, last couple of games. But if you guys have been on stream before, you know when it comes to Bobby Witt Jr. Look at the 2 bags. The man leads the league in doubles. Plus 310 at DK. Probably no EV there, or there is no EV there, really. So not a play, but I love to look at Bobby Witt Jr. doubles. Like literally 3-1. That is the best in baseball, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely the best in the AL. So Junior for a double is always worth looking at. Caglione, 3's like, I know he hits tanks, man. I know Senga's back. I know the Mets are a little bit tired from their pen and whatnot, but for a guy who just hasn't hit, I know he's heating up a little bit. We'll go last 15. I mean, heating up in terms of just straight power. He's still batting 102. I'm going to pull like a book it with Trent here, and I would say, brother, if you can get that minus 600 or that minus 579 on a no for Caglione, I'm not going to make that a play or anything like that for stream. But if you're betting a no home run parlay tonight, for a little, that's your version of Friday fun. Throw Caglione in there and watch him put one 475. You know, it's very possible. But I'm on the under here. Total is 9.5, so obviously there's runs to be scored, and I could be dead wrong. This game could be 19-12 for all we know. But with that being said, because this is double odds, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, let's go back to home runs. I was gonna say, boys. Okay, now we're talking. That makes so much more sense. I was gonna say after Cags hits one giant bomb against Senga, and that's his number. All right, we're back. Scratch the. We're not printing the minus 1,000 here. I'm glad to see that is the case. No, he's got the back-to-back jacks, but yes, this is fair game. I almost went on a rant that was unwarranted. I basically did, but what I was going to say prior is I'm on the under. So of course I could be dead wrong, and there could be a ton of runs here, but we're gonna pretend that this game is gonna be 1-0 Mets win. Under flies by, and I'm not gonna bet any props there. Twins, Pirates. Oh, look who it is. Is it Paul Skeens? Yeah, it's Paul freaking Skeens. Minus 130. I want to say give me every single ounce of that. What? I hate to be that guy, but I don't at the same time. Paul Skeens, minus 130 DK. Just to confirm for all the new guys in chat, we have a bunch of plays going that we love, that we bet. Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks. Kyle Tucker, 2+ HRR. Augustine Ramirez, Mike Talkman, Riley Green, Corey Seager, all to go Yahtzee. James Wood, 2+ HRR. Drew Rasmussen, 5+ Ks, plus 950. We're going plus money hunting. And Skeens minus 130, man. I don't see the EV, which is more than fine. Just there's not. Market's pretty fairly priced all around over there. But I mean, against the Twins, I know that these numbers are a lot better than in years past. I want to look at, let's pull up a hitter. This is always a good exercise. They have these historical lines. I want to go back to pitching. Let me get back there. Okay. Against right-handed pitching, we'll do last 20. Colin Rea got over the number. Kate Horner over the number. Rasmussen, this was again with some wonky stuff with a low pitch count, 4.5. Taj, the Twins can stack lefties. As you can see, a little bit of lefties are going to be facing righties against it, but Taj going under makes sense. Littell went over. Yuri, with his real great first start of the year, went over. Edward went over, Junk went over, flew over. Casey Mize, not a good K pitcher, though he's now an all-star. Luis Castillo is not, a good pitcher at this point. The Miz in that amazing first showdown between Skeens and the Miz, that was awesome. And Brian Wu went 9. I don't care if Paul Skeens pitches 1 inning and then gets shut down, and this bet is a flop. Give me all the Paul Skeens over 6.5 Ks, like square or not. What's this total? It's got to be 6.5. It's 6.5. Overjuiced. Some 7s out there. Give me that 7 under -120 because, of course, you know how bad the Pirates are. Joe Ryan is Joe Ryan's awesome as well. If we're going to just call it what it is. I'm not looking at hitters in this game, though. In these games with low totals, you can definitely find some more value on some hitters because, again, the books are thinking low totals. Hitter prop prices are probably more in line with that as well. But give me Paul Skeens, and I'm not even thinking twice. I'm moving on because we're calling it that quick. We got 2 more games left. Nothing else I have action on just yet, but actually that's not true. I have the under in Atlanta, St. Louis. We got Liberatore, Matthew Liberatore. My fade god. I loved fading this guy for the last 2 years, but if you guys have been paying attention, he's been locked in. Braves offense, a lot of people are going to be like, yo, they're heating up. Look what they just did in Sacramento, but we were in Sacramento in that AAA park against the team in the A's that can't pitch. Under. I know the Cardinals have been good. I think there's going to be probably some good hitting conditions as well. I've come around on the Cardinals as in I just thought they were going to be terrible, and they're clearly not terrible. They're actually very solid. Season total base props like Nolan. I mean, Nolan's not really great right now, so not surprising. Look at Wilson. Hitting conditions are great. It's going to be great around the country. I could be so dead wrong here. I'm on the under here, but I think that Liberatore is going to continue to pitch well. Grant Holmes, I'll pull him back up for a quick sec because he's had some really good starts. That 15K beauty against Colorado. I'll come back to Earthstar a little bit against the O's. Only let up 1 run. The Cardinals are a higher contact team, as you see the success against like the Angels and Rockies, who like really struggle to make contact. And this is when Milwaukee was like really cold. But I think even with the conditions, hitting wise, I think Atlanta's bats are still like defrosting and are really not. I'm not buying that they're hot now. The Cardinals are going to be making contact, but I think. One blow up start. I think I actually did fade him there, but there are a bunch of these games I faded this guy, and no, I took some L's there. But give me the under here, and because I'm on the under, we're gonna like stay away from some batter props. LAA. Reed Nelson, who I'm streaming in fantasy, so I do have some confidence. I'm playing him this week. He's in my lineup for tonight, aka I do have some confidence in him. He did pitch really well his last couple of starts, 3 in a row of just really good ball overall. Again, against the San Francisco team that can be hot and cold. Against the White Sox, we know that can obviously stink, and against the Royals, who do struggle to hit. LAA, they can be hit or miss. Like this this Nelson. See if there is H to H here. No, maybe last year. It would show up here. I'm hoping he just misses bats because the Angels, they love to hit dingers. Last 15, the batting average is generally down, but the home runs are still going to be up there. Mikey T, Hall of Famer, is heating back up, which is just amazing for the sport we talked about. We'll pull up home runs because we saw his 205 earlier. Balls have been flying in LA, as we know from that series with the Rangers. Balls have been absolutely flying. I am going to pass the CHR. Yeah, -140. There is EV. It's a different story, but nothing there. I'm going to probably just be quick on this game, but I'm going to try to find stuff where we like it. I'm not going to dive all the way in. Like Catel's 2.5. Spolaire. Like, did he go yard yesterday? No, he did not. I liked him yesterday to go yard. Some EV to MGM, to Penny at MGM. as well as that FanDuel. So like from a pricing perspective, Soler looks pretty good. I'm not I'm team Nelson today, so gonna just keep on cruising here. Philly, San Diego, fun series, two great teams. Let's see what the price is. Phillies are minus 167. Who's pitching? That's always the big question. Ranger Suarez versus Ryan Bergert. Don't even know how to pronounce that. Total 8. I'm intrigued here. Ranger, it's been flat out awesome. Very low strikeout numbers for the Padres, as we can see by this 4.5, despite the, hit rate for those hit rate kind of people being high. And again, all this data, like amazing pitch analysis, alternate lines, historical lines, which is amazing to see the other team has done against similar pitchers. Props.cash, 30% off, promo code BetSmart. Please do yourself a favor and sign up for Props.cash if you have not already. Such low strikeout numbers. Nando, Ty, but Fernando Tatis Jr. What an animal he is. HRR is only minus 120. Okay, Nando. What are we looking at here? Last 5 just for shits and gigs. Maybe we'll go last 10. Okay. Props.cash projecting 2.02. So minus 110 is definitely EV. According to the projections, from a pricing perspective, everyone's in line here. Price picks, minus 137. That's just the traditional pricing. Not something's telling me that Nando's not going to do it. I don't want to force myself into anything, of course. Interesting. This price is getting me excited. Let's go to Mr. Merrill Madness himself and take a peek. He's been cold, but keep in mind the kid's gone through a bunch of injuries this year. It's year 2. He had that concussion as well. I think the ASB is going to do him really well to get himself back into the mix, get himself a little bit healthier. Probably does need a rest, even though he's missed a lot of the season. But with injuries, I'm not going to be like trying to get on this train before it gets hot. Ranger Suarez numbers against both sides of the dish are just really been great this year. He's been, again, like I said earlier, just been awesome. No other way to say it. I'm going to lay off this one from a perspective of the Padres. The Phillies can go so many different ways with who does well, like a Schwarbaum. We were looking at 240, 290 for a Harper Nuke. I'm not going to play the guessing game with this one. We're going to move on, but just when Jackson Merrill looks like rookie of the year, Jackson Merrill last year should have been rookie of the year. Don't forget that kid is as good as it gets. But we got Scherzer on the bump, if I'm not mistaken. Scherzer, Sevy. Listen, man, Father Time's undefeated. I saw another tweet earlier. I'll see if I find it real quick. It's just a funny graphic of Kershaw, Verlander, and Scherzer and their stat head like comparison with Father Time as the final column there. Father Time has definitely come for those 3 pitchers, and we all know Father Time's undefeated, and I think Scherzer's washed. I wouldn't even say think. Like Scherzer is like pretty washed. Numbers are off the board here. I don't know if I missed news. I'll pull up Underdog real quick and see if I did miss something from a did they change pitchers? No, I'm not seeing any news on Underdog yet. If you guys see, let me know in the comments. But interesting that it's off the board from a game line perspective. So with that being said, I'm gonna probably skip through this here, but depending on what the A's reopen at based on what happened, give me all of the Oakland. I know how hot Tor is. I know how good Tor can be. I know Sevy can be food. As you can see by 3 really pretty bad starts right there. Overall in the season, does have a bunch of pretty bad starts, and Tor is like raking, total 10.5. But I think Scherzer at this point is cooked. I hate to say it. I know the injuries have been there this year as well. We're talking about a legend, so like, don't hate the messenger here. Listen. This is when the Yankees were terrible. Angels like doesn't count. Cleveland is, as we know, and Baltimore, he couldn't even. This is again, we're talking back in March, so don't buy too much into any of these. But give me all the Sacramento. Let's finish up here. Dustin May, Logan Webb. We know the Dodgers rake Logan Webb, and if you don't believe me, let's use props.cash to show you. Amazing future. BVP, generally speaking, is not the best way to get an edge by any means, but it gives you a little bit of context, especially when there is decent sample sizes. I emphasis on decent because it's probably not even decent. These are very small statistic sample sizes. But look at that with Mookie, rakes, Ohtani, rakes, Freddie, rakes, Teo, rakes. Hassan Kim expected to be in the order, which is nice. Pull some H to H just for people who are curious, but held them to 2-7 in that win. About a month ago. Dodgers got to him there. I know the Dodgers are being terrible lately. They're plus money. I know Dustin May is like really hit or miss as well. Let's see if the BVP against May, if there is a lot. Probably not, because it's kind of like a new look Giants team. Yep, unsurprisingly. I don't care how bad the Dodgers have been pitching. I know how good Logan Webb has been this year. I'm not a Logan Webb truther. Maybe I'm just a hater, which is definitely possible. I know the numbers are there. I don't see it though. I mean, numbers at the end of the day are what doesn't lie. Earned runs. I mean, one bad start realistically, and is that really that bad? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of was. But he keeps the ball on the ground. Very low barrels, only 1.2 a game. The home runs doesn't allow those long balls. Dodgers are really struggling, but I mean, LAD at plus money. I know that they were sitting around even money in some plus money spots as well against the Brewers, who have their way with them. The Dodgers that can't hit a beach ball right now. But is Mookie Betts washed, boys? You guys tell me, because it's like it's Mookie Betts washed. I know we're in San Francisco. Chilly night, damn, 55 expected. Wind's blowing out. Mookie did it. Let's just look at some. He does have 2 home runs in his last 10. Not that really matters. Let's see. Only 125, but that's the thing. It's like Mookie is not like this was like we were talking about James Woods earlier. We were talking about James Wood, excuse me. We were talking about Kyle Tucker earlier, right? Like Kyle Tucker at 125. I don't care how much of a salesman for slips he's been in the last 10. Like it's Kyle Tucker. Obviously, it's Mookie Betts, but like the way he's been playing this year, and like let's just look at the full season. 246, isolated power, like 139. Man, it's like Mookie's not like Mookie's ever been a massive ISO guy. Don't get me wrong, but like he's struggling. Like these are struggling numbers. Like only 11 long balls, only 12 doubles. That's where so ISO takes into account double power. But only 12 doubles for Mookie Betts. Bad 246. Like whole second half of the season, and there's nothing I hope more than for Mookie Betts to turn the hell up and be the Mookie Betts we know and love. But I don't feel confident laying a price on him for TB. Let's Freddie's minus 130 on, or excuse me, HRR. I don't bet a ton of TB, like I said earlier, for new guys in chat. Just really not a market that shows a lot of expected value, and that's the name of this game. Next stream, I'm going to look at some more RBIs because I do see a lot of EV actually in RBI markets. So we'll think about that a little bit more on next stream. But like Freddie at minus 129 at Caesars is more appealing than Mookie to me, honestly, because Mookie has been the single king against Webb, and also this year 59 singles. Though again, we want to see a little bit more of those doubles for Mookie. But if he gets on, Shohei gets on, Shohei walk, Mookie single first to third, Freddie single, boom, we have first inning cash. In San Francisco, that's definitely plausible. Webb, lefties have had his number a little bit more this year, which is not surprising. Again, we have decent BVP because, same division. like a 378, like that's a must. What goes up must come down, as we saw in that last start. I mean, against Webb, 0-2 against Webb. Mookie went. The Giants won that game 6-2. So we did get his little bit of revenge. Maybe that's the way it was coming down. And this was before the Dodgers really started to, I don't want to say, I mean, I could just say it started to stink. They've been dog water lately. Will Smith, he doesn't have the numbers off of Webb, but again, that's really not like the deal breaker big thing. He walked, he lined out, he popped out. So soft contact, which is Webb's bread and butter. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I love. I would say though, because there's not, this is a player prop research platform. Props.cash is absolutely amazing. So go to props.cash.com, or don't even need to go to .com. Props.cash, type it into your browser or into the App Store. And when you sign up, use promo code BetSmart for 30% off your first month. And also go to betsmart.co for every single sports betting tool that you want to know and learn more about. That's what we do. I would say Dodgers money line. Not going to write it down as a play because, again, we're looking at prop bets. But I do think the Dodgers at plus 120. I don't care that Webb is, I mean, plus twiddling at bookmaker. So we'll say plus 118 at Novig. Brother Novig always having the best price in market. If you don't have a Novig account, absolutely make that. But boys, let's run through what we've played so far, and we're going to call it a day. We have, for this game, starts in about an hour, Logan Allen, under 4.5 strikeouts, minus 104 FanDuel. Kyle Tucker, 2+ hits, runs, RBIs, minus 125 DraftKings. Augustin Ramirez, plus 500 home run MGM. Mike Tauchman, home run, plus 600 MGM. Riley Green, home run, plus 450 MGM. Drew Rasmussen, 5+ strikeouts, plus 950. James Wood, excuse me. Jimmy Barrels, 2+ HRR, plus 100 DK, even money. Corey Seager, home run, plus 425 MGM. And Paul Skeens, over 6.5 Ks, minus 130 DK. That's going to wrap it up, boys. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream. Promo code BetSmart, 30% off your first month of props.cash. That'll lead you right into NFL season. And I've been teasing the NFL season stream. I promise you that's happening. We got the All-Star break. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk football, of course. So shout out to everybody, betsmart.co, for everything you need sports betting related. And follow me on X, boys, at GoBetSmart. We're trying to run up that following account. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Who knows? Appreciate you guys. Have a great Friday and weekend. I'll be on stream Sunday. And let's cash some bets today, boys. We got it all locked in. We'll recap. And I'll see you guys next